It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jay Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Scotty G and the coach Friday from 10 to 2 at Next Gen Motors. Grand opening at their new location in Linden, 590 North State Street. Go say hi to Coach. He was wearing a Kiss shirt today. He likes Kiss more than I do. Never get famous wearing make it.
Yeah.
Got to wear it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. The Kiss is fine.
I mean, I guess Gene can kind of get away with it now, but the rest of them, you see Paul.
Oh, we built the city as I'm thinking rock and roll.
No, that's
Starship.
Jefferson Starship. Yeah.
I think it's just Starship. I think post Jefferson.
Were they ever post Jefferson?
Yeah, I think it was just Starship. Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, just Starship.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm thinking rock and roll all night long or whatever.
That's Kiss.
That's a good song. I know you don't like it.
It's kind of the same thing over and over again. There isn't too much to the chorus, or not the chorus, the verses.
Yeah, it's one thing.
It's
a hell of a thing.
Is it? Is it really? All right, let's get to this. I guess news broke yesterday. Ben Shams reported what the commissioner and everybody's leaning to as far as this non-tanking stuff goes. Mm-hmm. And you and I kind of picked it apart yesterday, saying, "Wow, this is way too complex. Doesn't really solve anything, and actually could make some stuff worse." Well, Shams, Charania, who carries water for everybody. Apparently, and I have not heard this, so I'm eager to hear this. He went on with Pitt McAfee, and was defending. Was he really defending it? Defending this solution.
This is Adam Silver's crack at trying to basically de-incentivize losing. And the NBA's, this is their version of relegating the bottom teams in the NBA. And so in all of American pro sport, once this is implemented May 28th in an owner's vote, they'll be the first league in American pro sports to penalize the bottom teams in the draft. It's not that you can't acquire players or can't build through the draft. It's just if you're openly trying to be at the bottom, or if you are at the bottom, you're going to be punished by it, by losing lottery balls. So basically in this format, if you're a bottom 3 team, you will have 2 lottery balls. If you're 4 through 10, you actually have 3 lottery balls. So in a lot of ways, if you're 1 through 3, you're incentivized to win at least enough that you're not at the bottom. So you're going to be trying to win. And then if you're 4 to 10, your goal is to try to win so you don't get sent to the relegation zone. So this is the NBA. And I was told Adam Silver had a call a couple weeks back, and he told the owners, he was very forceful with the owners. I'm not going to lie, there was a couple F-bombs in there. And he told, whether it was owners, GMs, everyone, you should hate to lose. Losing should be uncomfortable. People are now taking it as a badge of honor. And so this is the NBA. They are trying to take the step to crack down on this. And a lot of people might look at this as a radical approach, as an overcorrection in a lot of ways of what's happened in Utah and other leagues. So this is something that's obviously going to have major impact, not only this year, but years to come. Oh, yeah. There are 2 elements to this, Pat, I do want to point out. Mm-hmm. This now means moving forward, you can't pick number 1 back-to-back years, and you can't have a top 5 pick in 3 consecutive years. So that means teams like the San Antonio Spurs right now with Wemby, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper wouldn't exist. A team like Oklahoma City back in the day with KD and all those guys wouldn't exist. The Rockets right now with the Men Thompson, Reed Shepard, Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr. wouldn't exist under this new policy. So this is the NBA trying to basically say F you to teams that are trying to lose.
Shout out Armpit for his weird grunts in the background. But, man, look, I'm not trying to be offended by it. I don't really care. But it's just so funny to me that the Jazz continue to be the face of this tanking thing. It's like, this has literally been going on since before the lottery began in the early 80s because people were tanking for Ralph Thompson or Ralph Sampson, excuse me, and all of these different names. This has been going on for a very long time. The idea that the Jazz have crossed some line for somebody is so silly to me, but it does, I guess, represent that there is still some punching bag aspect of the Utah Jazz that they take it on the chin more than some other teams when the Jazz have tanked really hard for 2 years and did it for half of a season twice. But neither here nor there. What is going to happen is it's going to become total chaos. It's going to become unpredictable of how you're going to finish in the lottery. So it does, I guess, disincentivize the idea of whether or not it's worth it to tank. But you are going to punish legitimately bad teams.
Yeah, I guess. You should never want to lose, though.
Yeah, I think that's and look, I think that's totally fair. Here's what I don't trust is that when you look at Adam Silver and how unwilling he is to show conviction with the rules that he does make, a la hard and fast, 65 game minimum, unless for whatever reason you only play 63 or 64, then that's totally cool. And we'll let you just get the MVP award or whatever, make you All-NBA first team. Anyways, because we can't have Luka or Cade not on the All-NBA first team. Like, we're going to see a team next year, when these rules kick in, just decimated by injuries. Did absolutely nothing wrong. The reason they lost all these games is because they were hurt. And someone tore an ACL, and somebody dislocated a shoulder, and somebody had a concussion, or someone had an emergency with the family. And they left, and as a result, they won 21 games. And they're at the bottom 3, and now they're being punished because real things happen to basketball teams all the time. And Adam's going to say, I guess I didn't mean to punish them. I guess that was a mistake. And he will adjust it from there. And I know that they have an end date on here in 2029 when they go back to the drawing board and re-examine what worked and didn't work. And it's going to be totally unpredictable how this, affects teams over the next couple of years as far as where they're going to wind up in the lottery. But the strategy teams are going to tank to get the best lottery odds is not hard to figure out. We walked through it yesterday.
I like the carrot and the stick approach most times. And in this case, I think we could find a stick if we were looking for it to really do the job. This is not that. And so for Shams to say that this is relegation, no, it's not. I mean, those teams still get their pick. Those teams still get to play in the league. So let's not call it relegation. I guess it is a mild punishment. But what you're going to do, though, is they didn't stop the try to lose. Adam Silver going, you should be trying to win at all costs, blah, blah, blah. No, you just shifted who is trying to lose.
Exactly right.
You didn't fix anything. You changed the incentive so that there's actually access to more teams, not fewer. So now instead of the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, and this is reiterating from yesterday, you've got teams 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 who are going to be trying to lose on purpose. Mm-hmm. Or, as you put out yesterday, you're going to have teams that are going to try not to win their first game until February.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and play at the end of the year.
Turn it on. Fine. We'll climb up and not be one of the 3 worst teams in the league, but we're good enough to make sure we're in that 4 through 10 spot.
You're not fixing anything. And it makes me laugh to hear Shams, who seems like an intelligent person, go on and say, oh, this fixes everything, because it doesn't. So you're either lying or you're not a very smart person.
So here, I'll pull up the standings.
So
right now.
I'd go, in that case, probably being untruthful. Or it's his idea, which would make it even more hilarious. That he's out there defending it because it's like, oh, this was my idea, guys.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
So, okay, here's the really interesting part of this. Just to quickly reiterate, it's the 3-2-1 model. The bottom 3 teams in the NBA of the 3 worst records will get 2 lottery balls each. Teams 4 through 10 get 3 lottery balls each. Teams 11, 12, 13, and 14, which is the 9-10 play-in tournament teams, get 2 lottery balls. And then the teams that lose the 7-8 play-in, which is teams 15 and 16, each get 1 lottery ball. So there are some lottery odds you can get, and they expand lottery out that way. So obviously the answer is you want to have the best lottery odds, so you want to fall between teams 4 and 10. And you would think, okay, teams 4 and 10, that's not a huge number of teams. That's only 7 teams total. I guess you can make that work. Jake, guess off the top of your head. What do you think the win window was between Team 4 and Team 10 in the NBA?
Yeah, as far as the worst goes.
As far as worst goes to however
So
the most
Team
the
4 was probably what?
Well, it's the Utah Jazz. So
Yeah,
you know the
what
number.
is it?
22.
22.
So the 10th best team, or 10th worst team,
Probably what, 40?
42.
Yeah.
So there's a 20-win window where as long as you're in that window and you know you're not
You're
making
good.
the playoffs, you're totally fine. So let's say you go and you're a team that says, we want to be in the lottery. We want to hold on to our pick. That's our goal. There's 3 dudes at the top of the lottery, and we're going to have whatever X% chance of going up and getting them. And we don't want to be one of the 3 worst, but we don't want to be teams 11, 12, or 11 through 16. So we just got to be somewhere in this window of 22 to 42. While, yes, that gives you some leeway to win games, it also gives you more than enough leeway to just lose as much as you want.
Think about this for a second, Ben, and I'm glad you're talking about it this way because I haven't thought about it. These new rules would not have changed the Jazz last season at all.
Correct.
It would have changed 2 seasons ago.
Uh-huh.
But what we
Yes,
saw
no, exactly
this
right.
year would not have changed
Right.
one bit. The
The
Jazz
season
would
that just wrapped up would have not changed at all.
not changed at all. The Jazz would still have been on pace to win 30 whatever games, and they would have still panicked and said, Mylanta, we're going to win too much. And they would have still pulled the plug,
Yeah.
and they would have still had that disastrous February and March that we all experienced. It wouldn't have changed anything.
No, it wouldn't have changed
So
anything.
even the Jazz, their team, is the inspiration for all of this revolutionary activity. And these new rules would not have changed the Jazz behavior one bit.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Honestly, I mean, I don't know the math of how many NBA games are played total every year. It's whatever, 30 teams, 82 games, but you divide that by 2 because they play each other. So however many, 2,400 games or whatever it is, 1,200 games that are played in the NBA every season. How many actual games do you think it changes, the approach? Total in the NBA.
Probably not that many.
Like
handful.
Yeah,
maybe?
a handful. Honestly, I think you might be talking. It's like way fewer than 20.
Yeah.
Way fewer than 20, especially if teams trying to win games. I think you're talking about maybe 20 individual games that are going to be changed by this rule. Not every night for 3 straight months teams are adjusting differently. I don't think that's going to happen. I think teams are going to park between 4 and 10. Those teams already win 1 of every 3 games. They're not good enough to win 2 out of every 3 games. So nothing's going to change for those teams that are between 22 and 42 wins. They just have to be somewhere in that range. So, yeah, maybe if the Jazz said we don't have to be so aggressive, we can win a couple of more games here, but they're not going to risk their pick. And then the teams that are really bad aren't going to be able to catch them. And it's only going to really matter for the teams that are within striking distance of the bottom 3 teams in the NBA, which, again, the Pacers and Nets won 19 and 20 games. They were the 2nd and 3rd worst teams in the NBA. They weren't even close, truthfully, Jake, to the Memphis Grizzlies, who won 25 games. Not even close in the standings. So Memphis doesn't have to change anything. They don't have to play harder because they're still going to be 19 and 20 win teams. The Jazz and the Kings might have had to keep an eye on 3 or 4 different games more this year to make sure they don't fall to the bottom 3. That's it. That's all it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see suddenly, and I'll gladly eat my words if this works, and I hope it does work in all honesty, but I don't think it's going to. If we see 10 more teams, the bottom 10 teams in the NBA all have 30 wins, great. That will make for a far more competitive product, and I think that can be beneficial. Again, I would remind you those teams are never on national TV. Those are not the teams that are making the NBA a lot of money right now by selling to NBC and ESPN and, Amazon and TNT, or it's not TNT anymore, but wherever you're watching your games. Those aren't the teams that are swinging these huge financial opportunities. So I'm just very skeptical that this is going to have a rapid overhaul on the approach. Just like you're saying, it wouldn't have changed anything at all for the Jazz last year. And the Jazz were even right on that cutting line. It certainly doesn't change anything for Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans, Chicago, who were all between 25 and 31 wins and just can't fall out of that range. Super easy to do.
I hope that they name the rules the Jazz rules. I hope that that's what they're known by.
Yeah.
The Jazz tanking rules. And they wouldn't have changed anything the Jazz did at all.
That's very funny.
That's very funny. They would have behaved in the exact same manner.
Yep. The exact same manner.
The exact same manner.
All 4 years, maybe 2 years ago they would have changed
2 years ago it would have changed.
But that was the only year. You're talking about
it.
1 year out of 4 that, yes, becomes the, quote, Utah Jazz rule.
Yep.
That something would have been different.
They're going to call this the Jazz rule, and it wouldn't have changed one dang thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Really funny.
Real quick.
And actually, you know what? Do you know why it's actually going to be the Jazz rule? Why it would be more apropos? Because what did the Jazz do the first 2 years? They were a 500 team who tanked to get into the top 10.
Yep.
That's actually what you're encouraging teams to do.
That is funny.
That's the Jazz rule of it, but they're going to think it's the last 2 years.
Oh, man, the irony. The irony of that.
Yeah.
Wow. By the way, our friend Ute Shasta Trailer, by the way, shout out to Mike, gives us a little history lesson. Mm-hmm. Jefferson Starship came about when Jefferson Airplane split in the 80s and was formed by Gracie Slick and Paul Kantner. After Kantner left, they just became Starship, led by Gracie and Mickey Thomas. Basically, Starship was a glossy top 40 hit-making machine.
Did he say Gracie? Like he friends with her? I think she
no,
goes by
I
Grace.
say I said Gracie.
Okay.
Oh, she went by Gracie back in the day.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Interesting person, that Grace Slick.
Well, she was amazing when they were Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
You know, they were born out of the Haight-Ashbury, just like the Grateful Dead and all of that. In fact, they played on the Grateful Dead's first album.
Oh, okay.
I think. Or maybe it was vice versa. Maybe the Grateful Dead played on their first album. That sounds more like it. Anyway. Good times. Good talk. Good hearing from you, Shasta Trailer.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We will have more coming up next. In fact, we've got What You Got Wednesday coming up next. I don't know if I'm excited or dreading it. Probably.
Well, one of them's right up your alley.
I know. But those are often the ones that you miss on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We had one that was way up my alley like a month ago when I got smoked.
Yeah.
It was like celebrity something or other, and you creamed me.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. What You Got Wednesday, straight ahead, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top